Hello, hello, everyone. I know I'm a few minutes early. I'm just going to check around on my tech and make sure that it is working. If you can see me, there is a message box down below that you should be able to see me in. I'm just checking myself to see if I can actually see myself on my computer. Let's see. Can I see myself? Am I here? Yay! There I am. I can see myself. So see me in. I'm just checking myself to see if I am going to not watch myself, but hi, Leah. Thank you. Yay, you can see me. All right. So I am a few minutes early, so we're not going to start quite yet, but I am very excited to be here, guys. I am very excited to chat with you. You know, this is technology, and what an amazing thing technology is, but it does happen that technology lets us down, and for some reason it turns off either on your end or on my end. So I want to be, really clear before we get started that if for some reason, hi Katie, if for some reason you cannot see me, then, oh, hi Rachel. If you can't see me, then don't fret either. Not that you would fret if you can't see me, like I know, relax, Sarah. But if for some reason that the broadcast goes out, either refresh your browser, give it a minute or two, it usually will pop back in. Or if for some reason it's out and you can't get back in, I always send out a replay. So if there is something that you feel like you missed, or your baby starts to cry, or the doorbell rings and you have to go answer it, or whatever that is, I don't want you to feel like this will be the end. and you won't be able to get any of the information. Now, the last webinar I did, for some reason, my screen wouldn't share until halfway through. So if that happens as well, I'll make sure that I send out my slides. But I'm so happy to see all of you that are here. A couple hundred people signed up to be part of this webinar, which I was really excited about, but I know it has nothing to do with me, and it has everything to do with the fact that it is so frustrating to try to make money as a blogger. And that is why so many people are, scratching their heads, feeling irritated. Even today, and I'll talk about this later, I had a whole conversation with someone on a Facebook group about how to make money as a blogger because they just couldn't figure it out. So I understand. Let me tell you that straight off. I fully get it. Now, I don't know about your kids. Depends, I guess, where you live. My kids are on March break. So I have them stashed upstairs in my house with lots of snacks and the TV. And I'm hoping for the best, expecting the worst and hoping for the best. And yeah, hopefully I don't have one of those like BBC moments where my kids come flying in, though they're not as little, so it wouldn't be quite as cute. It would probably be just annoying, like, Mom, my tablet isn't working, or I can't figure out how to do this in Minecraft, and all of that. But that's all part of parenting, isn't it, my friends? My goodness. So if we do have a chat box below, just for those of you who just joined us, we have a chat box below. If you do have any specific questions, pop them in there. I'll do my best to get to them. And you know what? It's a little bit after 2, so I think we can go ahead and get started. I don't really like waiting around. I don't like making people stick around on a webinar for a long time. So let's go ahead and get started. Because there are so many people who are new to me who signed up for this webinar, I'm going to start by introducing myself. And I have a big pet peeve when it comes to people introducing who they are, and they put a slide up when they're there live to introduce themselves. So hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm just going to talk about myself live right here. So I write a blog called Sleeping is for Losers. It's actually where you are right now if you're watching this live. You are live on my actual website. And I have been writing Sleeping is for Losers since 2009. And I started because the color's going wonky on my screen. I don't know if it's going wonky on yours. But I started my blog because I was a brand new mom. And I was a brand new mom who had no idea what I was doing. I was just in my early 20s. I had no idea what I was doing. I was scared out of my mind. I had no friends with kids. Like, I didn't know a single person that had a baby, and I just did not know what to do. And so I did the obvious thing, which is turn to the internet. And I found mom blogs, and I found this community of moms who just talked about what it was like to have a baby. And some of these moms felt like me, like they were scared out of their mind. And I just latched on to that community, and I started Sleeping is for Losers. And if you go back to the beginning of Sleeping is for Losers, I am talking like it is my personal diary. Like, seriously, that's all I do is talk about my life as if it is just a diary. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. So I started a blog with no business plan. But what ended up happening is that my blog became a business. In fact, I have been making money off Sleeping is for Losers since 2009. So since I started the blog. And I'm really happy to say that now, 7.5, almost 8 years later, it is my full-time job. So over the years, I have made varying amounts of money. Sometimes I have made, hundreds of dollars a month, $200, $300 a month. Sometimes I have made thousands of dollars a month, and it depends. But I do think that I have some authority in terms of talking about how you can make money as a blogger. And just really quickly, I want to talk to you about why I talk about blogging, because my blog is not actually about blogging. I do have some posts about blogging, but it started as a parenting blog, and I always will view Sleeping is for Losers as a parenting blog. But I hear so much talk on the internet about different ways that bloggers make money. In fact, just a few years ago, I was on Pinterest, and I came across an income report. And at this point, I was making maybe $1,000 or so a month. And I was very happy with that. I had another job as well, like a full-time day job. And this was my part-time side job, making $1,000 a month. It was great. But I saw this income report. And on the income report, this blogger talked about how she made, what was the number? I think it was $7,000 to $10,000 each month. And I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, I don't know a single blogger, and I know a lot of bloggers. I didn't know a single blogger that was making anywhere close to that kind of money. And it blew my mind. And being the research person that I am, I set out to figure out how that person was making money. And I found out some very interesting things. So that's the kind of stuff I'm going to share with you today. I'm going to share with you real actionable ways that you can start making money, and you can start making money relatively quickly. And you can make money without worrying about having massive traffic, because a lot of those bloggers who talk about their big income and how much money they make also say that they have 100,000 page views each month. And, I'm just going to say it to you guys. I don't fully believe them. To be honest, I don't fully believe that they have those massive page views. Maybe they do, who am I? But I think that we need to take everything we read, especially those income reports that we read about other bloggers, with a grain of salt. We need to be clear that there are plenty of ways to make money off a blog, and you are more than capable of making money off your blog regardless of the traffic that you get. So we are going to attempt to do a screen share here. Let's see if I'm able to do it. If I am, ta-da. All right, my friends, I think it worked. Let's see, did it work, did it work, did it work? Yes, I think you guys can see my screen. Maybe not. If you can see my screen, could you leave me a little note in the chat box and let me know? There, I just put up an anonymous, can you see my screen? So if you can see the, yay, thank you, Leah, for helping me out. So we are gonna talk all about how to make money blogging. And I'm gonna be totally real with you when I talk about how we make money blogging. there are a gazillion different ways to make money blogging. But Julia, thank you for asking. Julia just asked, did your hubby like the slides this time? I actually spent some time making nicer slides because my husband was making fun of my slides from last time. He thought they were very ugly, and he thought I could do better. He's like, Sarah, you can do better. So I actually spent some time and attempted to make slides that were not nearly as ugly. So I hope that both he and you enjoy them more. So we're going to talk all about how to make money blogging. And the first thing I want to talk about are the 3 main myths about making money as a blogger. Okay, these are the kind of myths that I hear perpetuated all over the internet, and they drive me insane. So the first one is that you need big traffic to make money from your blog. That could not be further from the truth. I tell you the truth when I say to you that I had exactly 10 people reading my blog a day, if I was lucky, when I started making money off my blog. 10 people. So I made money from my blog with very little traffic, and I do not have anywhere near the traffic I hear people talk about. When people say, like, I'm hoping for 30,000 this month, I'm like, are you kidding me? 10,000 is kind of where I net out most months. But even then, I think it's only because I've been around for so long. So I do not want you to think that money has anything to do with your page views each month. I have made my biggest month, I made $7,000 in a month, and it was my lowest month for page views. So please do not think that your page views equal money, at least not with the ways to make money that I'm going to talk about. The next myth that I hear over and over again is that you need to blog about blogging, or blog about business, or blog about being an entrepreneur, or blog about making money in order to make money. False. So false. I think that the reason people think that is because people who blog about blogging, or blog about business, or blog about being an entrepreneur often put out into the world how much money they make. And people who are making money off their travel blog, or making money off their humor blog, or making money off their parenting blog, or making money off their whatever kind of blog they have, often do not release their income into the world. So keep in mind that it might seem like people only make money if they teach other people how to blog or how to run a business, but that is not true. Probably the most wealthy blogger I know, and I know her personally, writes a sewing blog, and she teaches people how to sew, but really she just writes about her own sewing projects mostly. I have to be honest, I love her, but I don't really read her blog because I don't sew, and I don't care to sew ever. But she makes a lot of money, and she makes a lot of money in the ways we're going to talk about today. So that's really good for you to keep in your mind. And then finally, the myth that drives me nuts as well is that you have to make money directly from your posts. So each blog post that you put up will not necessarily net you money. You're going to make money from having a blog. You won't always make money right from each individual post. So I hope that makes sense to you. Your blog is what is going to make you money and become your business eventually, or your side hustle, or your extra money, or your fun money, or whatever it is you want from that. Please don't think that each and every post you put up has to make you money somehow, because that will just become frustrating, and that is the reason that so many bloggers quit, is because they think the exact content that they put up is the reason that they're going to make money, and that is false. Okay, so those are the 3 myths I want you to get out of your head. There are 3 things I hear over and over again on the internet when it comes to blogging and making money. So before we start, there are a few things that I think you should know, and these are just truths about blogging, and you can take them from someone who's been in this blogging game for a really long time. First of all, blogging is a long-term game. So if you are looking for a super fast or super easy way to make money, don't bother with blogging. Plain and simple. There are so many other ways to make money that are probably easier, less frustrating, and a heck of a lot faster, and hopefully legal as well. But yeah, blogging is all about growing and growing and growing. And the more you grow as a blogger, the more money that comes your way. It is just the way it works. So please do not think that because you have a blog, you will become rich. Please do not go out and quit your $100,000 a year job because you're going to start a blog and think you're going to replace that $100,000 within a month. That's just not true. Be in blogging for the long haul. The real money comes when you've kind of learned the blogging lessons that you need to learn. Next, when it comes to making money as a blogger, you need to embrace diversification. So do not put all your eggs in one basket. And this is something that really, really bothers me because I see it a lot, especially surrounding affiliate marketing. Everybody is talking on the internet about affiliate marketing, which is where you put a link into a blog post, and when people click that link and buy something, you get a portion of the sale. You get a percentage of the sale. Do not put all your money eggs into one basket. Your blog is this living and breathing thing, and the actual industry of blogging is a living and breathing thing. It is always changing. The way we made money as bloggers in 2009 is not the way we necessarily make money now as bloggers. There's always new ways to make money. There are always can't miss, surefire, everybody makes money this way, money-making ideas that will not work for you. You need to be really open to embracing it all. Do not spend all your time trying to build up massive traffic on Pinterest and rely on that traffic to make you money, because what if Pinterest goes down and you get no traffic to your blog? What will you do then? Don't spend all your time trying to build up this massive affiliate network, because what if the laws change where you live and you can't do affiliate marketing anymore? You'll have no income. Always have multiple ways to be making money from your blog. I think that's probably the best advice I'm going to give you this whole webinar. Next, you need to treat your blog like it's your online portfolio. So your blog is your online resume, your portfolio, your calling card. And what I love about blogging and what keeps me in the blogging field time and time again is that you have the opportunity with your blog to learn and grow and gain new skills for free. I mean, think about everything you've learned from the time you started your blog till now. You probably know some coding stuff you never knew before. You know something about WordPress or Squarespace. Maybe you didn't even know what those words were, what they meant before you started blogging. You know about pictures. You know about writing, definitely. I'm sure your writing has improved from the beginning of your blog to now. You know how to make memes. You know how to interact online. You know how to be funny. You know how to be serious. There are so many things that you have learned just simply from the act of having a blog. And the best way for you to make money from your blog is to leverage all those things that you know for opportunities and for money-making opportunities. They are out there. The skills you have as a blogger, even a brand new blogger, are skills that so many people do not have. So treat your blog like it is your online calling card, your online portfolio. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through this. Finally, something you need to know is that blogging is hard work. If it was easy, everyone would have a blog and everyone would be a millionaire from their blog, but they're not. They're not at all. So blogging is really hard work. It is a constant hustle, but it is also the best job I have ever had. And I have had some pretty kick butt jobs. Like, I was on TV for years. I had my own television show. I've done radio. I had a nationally published column in a newspaper. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying, I've had some good jobs, trust me. But blogging is the best job I have ever had. And really, it is the only job where I feel like the money I can make is unlimited. There's no ceiling on me when it comes to making money. It does require hard work. I wish I could tell you that you just have to set up your blog, write a few posts, pop in a few ads and affiliates, and you will be rolling in dough. But that is just not true. There is probably less than 1% of the blogging population that makes quote unquote passive income. The hard work though pays off. I guarantee it. So now that we have all of those myths and things you need to know out of the way, let's talk money. That's why you're here, right? How do you actually make sustainable money online as a blogger? So first of all, I'm going to tell you how you don't do it. And I'm sorry to all those people who love their ads and affiliates, but this is not how you make money online. In fact, ads are probably the worst way to make money online. And affiliates are also not a good way to make money online. Both of them, however, are super enticing, and I understand why people are, kind of obsessed with the idea of putting ads on their site or putting affiliate links in their posts because it seems easy. And don't we all want easy money? I mean, hands up if you want easy money. I do. So I get why people are so interested in ads and affiliates, but they are actually the worst way for you to make money, especially if you are newer or you don't have the massive traffic that people talk about online. So why are they not the best way to make money? Because they require big traffic, like hundreds of thousands of people to hit your blog every single month. They require big marketing. So even if you have big traffic, there are lots of people who have good traffic to their blog and do not make money off of ads or affiliates because they don't have a really good marketing system in place. And they don't have a good email strategy in place. And those are really the only ways that you're going to make a lot of money if you rely on affiliates and advertising in order to be successful. Big traffic, big marketing, big email strategies, and big stress. I didn't put that in there. Affiliate marketing is stressful. You're relying on other people to buy something, and that is stressful. So that is not the way that you are going to make money as a blogger. So let's get into the meat of it. How are you actually going to make money? Enough, Sarah. Let's go. So I'm going to start with some of the easiest or quickest ways for you to make money, and then we'll go into some of the most lucrative ways to make money that might take you a little bit longer, and you should start working on them right now. So the first way that you are going to make money as a blogger is to offer services. And you might say to me, like, I'm blogging because I just want to write blog posts for a living and that's it. But hold on to your hats because I'm going to explain something to you here. When you offer services, you're going to offer things that you are already doing, that you're already good at, that are super easy for you, that may be difficult or frustrating for other bloggers or online business owners, and that people will pay you to complete for them. Listen, I tell you the truth when I say every blogger I know who does it for a living, so who blogs for a living, offers services of some sort. So when I talk about services, I'm talking about being a virtual assistant. That means, helping some other business or blogger out with little tasks. You can do email management or set up people's email systems, social media management, writing sales pages, creating graphics or doing photos, even stock photos, providing blog or social media audits. That means going through somebody's blog or social media and telling them how they can improve it. Even coaching. You could also write blog posts for other people. So when you offer services, it is the fastest way for you to make money as a blogger, and you are using the skills you already have and use every single day as a blogger. So personally, I will tell you that I write sales pages for people who are selling ebooks or courses, and I make well over $2,000 or $3,000 a month simply from writing sales pages. I have in the past offered social media management. I have made money through even creating graphics, and I just created them on Canva, which is a free graphic site. See, people want to have their blog or business look professional. They want to stand out online. They want to succeed faster, and they just don't have the time. But if you are blogging for money, you are learning these skills that are easy peasy for you, and you can charge other people for them. They will not take up a lot of your time, but they will definitely improve your income as a blogger. I don't know a single blogger who isn't offering services. And if you are on my website, you'll notice there's nothing on my website about the services that I offer. It is all word of mouth. And that is probably the best way to offer services. Go into Facebook groups, see what people are looking for, message those people and say, hey, I can do that for you. Here's what I charge. And that's how you get started. So it takes up a very small amount of my time. I do not spend a lot of money or time with the offering services, but I actually make a lot back. And I tell you the truth, there is no way I would have had those opportunities to write sales pages or develop social media plans for people if I didn't have Sleeping is for Losers. Sleeping is for Losers is the only reason that people come to me and ask me if I can help them out with certain tasks that are super easy for me, but are difficult for other people. We often run into this roadblock where we think that what we know or what we do as a blogger is common sense and everyone can do it. It's not. So even if you've been blogging for a month, you have a skill that somebody else doesn't have, or you have a skill that somebody else doesn't have the time to deal with, and you can charge for that. That is such a great way to supplement your income as you continue to grow your blog. Now, the next way that you can make money as a blogger is through freelance writing. So stick with me on this. There are a couple different ways you can get paid as a freelance writer. So the first way is to blog for others. I did a quick Google search not 5 minutes before I got online with you guys, and I found literally hundreds of blogs that pay to have you write a post for them. Hundreds of blogs that will pay you to write one single post. So the money can kind of vary everywhere from $25 for one post to $200 or $300 for one post. There are lots of different ways that you can find those. Like I said, a quick Google search, but there's also websites that will list all the places that you could potentially write. ProBlogger is a good site if you're looking for somewhere to write. You can also write for local magazines and newspapers. And this is a great way to freelance write, and you will get paid for articles or columns that you write for them. And then finally, you can ghostwrite. And ghostwriting is when you do not put your name to the writing, so it sounds like somebody else has written it. Always get paid if you ghostwrite. But here's the key. The reason I'm saying that as a blogger you should freelance write is that you are just going to reuse ideas you have already written about on your blog. Do not reinvent the wheel. You have a blog with posts on it. Tweak them, change them around, take the idea and maybe rework it a bit, and then pitch that idea to a blog, so another online space, or a local magazine or newspaper for money. So you might be asking me, how do you pitch? Do I need to know someone? Oh, it seems so hard. I promise you that once you start doing it, you will not find it all that difficult. So for those of you that know me, you'll know that I have been a freelance writer since 2009, and it was simply because of my blog, Sleeping is for Losers. And it has been a massive source of income for me, and it has led to other income sources simply because of Sleeping is for Losers and using the ideas that I already have on my blog and repurposing them, not copying them word for word, but repurposing them and pitching them to other spaces. So I'm going to show you actually what it looks like to pitch. I always pitch by email. So pitch is just sending an email to the editor or the person in charge of a blog and asking if you can write for them. So this is an exact pitch letter that I sent out probably about 2 years ago. So it said, hi, my name is Sarah Newcomb, and I write a blog called Sleeping is for Losers. As a new mom, I felt such frustration and fear that I would mess everything up. Emotions I know so many other moms feel. All I wanted was for someone to reach out and tell me I was doing a good job and that I wasn't going to mess it all up. Those emotions were the catalyst for the attached post that I am submitting for your consideration. Thank you for taking the time to read my work and consider my pitch. I look forward to speaking soon. Warmly, Sarah Newcomb. And underneath that, I copy and pasted a blog post. Now, the blog post that I am talking about in this pitch letter was something I had written on my blog. I had exactly 49 views on that blog post, but people had liked it. The 49 people who had read it, like 5 of them were related to me, but the rest of them were not. They liked it. They resonated with it. And, it was entitled What a New Mom Needs to Hear. It might still even be on my blog right now. But that pitch letter that I sent, that email with kind of a reworked version of that blog post, what a new mom needs to hear, ended up being published in Chicken Soup for the New Mom's Soul. And I got paid, and it's still in that book. If you find it in the, I don't know, the library or the bookstore, do people go to bookstores? It's still in there. And this is the exact pitch letter that I sent to the Chicken Soup for the Soul people with a copy of what a new mom needs to hear. And I was paid for that. And it has happened again and again and again. Now, when you are freelance writing, you will definitely get a lot of no's, and you will definitely get a lot of no answers where people just won't even respond to you. But the money that you can get from freelancing is fantastic. Hundreds of dollars a month easily just from freelance writing. And all you're doing, as I mentioned before, is reusing the ideas that you have already written about on your blog. Now, if it sounds scary, start off with going to blog collectives. There's Savvy Mom, Urban Moms, Yummy Mommy Club, there's Baby Center, Scary Mom, Digital Parents, Her Collective. There are so many online blog collectives that will pay you to write a blog post, a single blog post for them. And the more you do it, the better you get at it, the more easy it is to come across those freelance opportunities. So that's the second way you can really make some serious money off your blog. Now, the next way is my favorite, and I'll try not to get too excited about it. It's the holy grail of making money on your blog, friends. It does not matter what kind of traffic you have. It is sponsored posts, and I love sponsored posts. So there is this like really false belief that bloggers have to use a quote unquote middleman company to get sponsored posts. So IZEA, I-Z-E-A, is probably the biggest one, the one that pops into my mind right away. But there are hundreds of influencer companies that ask you to sign up, and maybe you'll get the chance to bid for a sponsored post. A sponsored post is where a company pays you to write about them. So they give you a product, and they also give you money, and you write about them within a blog post. But that idea that you have to use a middleman company is so wrong, because those middleman company, first of all, they're making a killing off of bloggers. They're making so much money off of bloggers. And secondly, all they care about are your traffic numbers and nothing else. So I am going to give you permission to do something that I never see talked about on the internet. Stop signing up for these middlemen collective companies that promise you these massive payouts and opportunities to work with certain companies. Stop doing that. Decide what kind of products you like, you use, your audience likes, even if you only have 10 people reading your posts, and your audience could use, and reach out to companies you want to work with on your own and ask if they have a budget to work with bloggers. I mean, that sounds simple, right? It is that simple. You hold power as a blogger, and we are forgetting this because it feels like blogging is this super saturated place and everybody and their dog has a blog. But you know what? Not everybody and their dog is you. You have an audience. It doesn't matter what size it is. You have a voice on social media. It doesn't matter what size it is. You have the ability to reach out to people in a way that brands cannot. So you need to leverage that. You need to use that. My advice to you on sponsored posts is to start small and work up to working with bigger brands with bigger budgets. So when I started doing sponsored posts, I started out with Etsy shop owners, and I actually did it in exchange for just product when I first started doing sponsored posts. But just an Etsy shop owner would give me a product, I would write about it, sometimes I would attach a little giveaway to it, and you know, Bob's your uncle, that was it. But I did 2 or 3 of those, and I finally felt like I had enough, knowledge as a blogger. I reached out to a medium-sized brand, nothing big, and I asked if they had a budget to work with bloggers. So I started off an email like, hi, my name is Sarah. I write the blog Sleeping is for Losers, just like I did in that pitch letter. I am a huge fan of your product. I would love to feature it on my blog. I know we can create some great buzz about your product together. Do you have a budget for working with bloggers? Can't wait to hear back from you, Sarah Newcomb. That's my email. And I got a lot of no's. I got a lot of no responses, but I also got some yeses. And that's how I started doing sponsored posts. And at this point, I can now charge between $400 and $900, even $1,000 per sponsored post. Sometimes, if there are multiple posts, I can charge well over $1,000. And that all comes from writing about it on my blog. Now, a few things that you should know if you want to dive into sponsored posts. Number one, stop going through those middlemen. They are not going to help you out, so don't go through them. They're making a killing off of you in your blog. Instead, approach people on your own first. Number two, I want you to be too good with your sponsored post content. Go above and beyond. And I don't mean talk about how amazing the product is. I mean just really make it a great post. Have you ever read a post and it was just so good you had to go back and read it again? You just loved it so much. Those are the kind of posts you need to write when there's sponsored content. Be uber detailed. Be really specific. If there was something bad or wrong about the product, be honest about it. I mean, don't trash them, but be honest about it. And when you're looking at sponsored posts, don't be afraid to ask for more money than you think you'll get. You would be amazed at the budget that most of these brands, even if they're smaller brands, that most of these brands have. You would be shocked at the kind of marketing budget they have to work with bloggers. So don't be afraid to ask for some decent cash. So you might want to start by asking, if it's a small company, by asking for $50 to $100, but you can very, very quickly work your way up to getting a couple $100 per sponsored post. And one last thing, don't take every sponsored post that comes your way. There are certainly some bloggers who make a lot of money by just having a quote unquote review blog, but I don't think it's the best way to make sustainable income. So sponsored posts need to be something that your readers and you would actually be interested in. So I think that's really important to note. All right, so moving on, and I saw that question and I will answer it just after I talk about our last way to make money. And that is to sell your own product. Now, I know this might seem overwhelming, but I want you to listen to what I have to say about this. Bloggers make money because they have knowledge. And I've said this before when I talked about freelance writing, when I talked about selling services. You have knowledge or ability that other people do not have. And in the digital age, people are willing to pay and pay decent money for your knowledge, assuming that it will speed up the process or cut down a learning curve. So think about the things that you could potentially sell. You could have downloadable printables or templates, even printables that people like print off and frame in their homes, you know, like cute little sayings and things like that. Ebooks with quote unquote insider information or how-tos or guides to get something working faster or do something quicker than if you had to research it on your own through Google. You could have sewing patterns. I got that from my friend I was talking about at the beginning who has a sewing blog. She sells sewing patterns right off her blog, and they are not expensive, but she makes a lot of money off of them. In-depth tutorials or master classes, especially if you know something about technology that other people might not know. My husband is a graphic designer. He knows stuff that make no sense to me, and I'm always saying to him, you should sell a tutorial and explain to people how the heck they should actually be using InDesign, because he just laughs when he watches me over my shoulder try to figure out how to work InDesign. You could sell cheat sheets that just make something simple, or workbooks that just make something simple. I actually purchased from a blogger an organization download that was a bunch of worksheets and cheat sheets on how to like clean your house, like kind of like a guide on when to clean what, because I am not very homemakery. I wish I was, but I'm just not. And I just stuck it up on a bulletin board, and it's really helpful. And I'm glad I spent $10 on that, when to clean what in your house. And that's all it is. I mean, it's nothing fancy, but I'm glad I spent the money. You could have handmade goods. An Etsy store lends itself to a blog, just like a blog lends itself to an Etsy store. Or you could sell handmade goods right off your own website. I had baby onesies made up that say sleeping is for losers, and I probably sell one a week off my website. Not because I have massive traffic, I've told you that before, but just because, it's something new and different, and people are always having babies and they need stuff. And maybe you write about nursing, or maybe you write about swaddling. Wouldn't it be amazing if you created your own swaddles and you sold those right off your website? Yes, it would be amazing. Or, of course, you could sell courses. And courses are great for breaking down big topics in a step-by-step way for others to follow. So look at that. Just in like a minute, I went through how many different things you could potentially sell. And I think when we think of selling, we think, number one, it has to be amazing and mind-blowing. And number two, it has to be high-priced. And both of those things are completely wrong. Selling your own product does not mean that you are going to roll in, $10,000 a month because you're selling this high price thing. I know that that's what people want you to do, but it's not what you have to do. But, you can sell an ebook for $7.99 and you can make a lot of money off of it. You could sell a downloadable printable or a template for, $3.99, and people will purchase it if it is useful to them, if it gets them from A to Z faster, if it makes their life a little bit easier. People are willing to pay for that. It does not matter how much traffic you have. If you are going to create something, you will be able to sell it. I guarantee you will be able to sell it. It has nothing to do with your traffic. So finally, this is a question that I have been asked a lot, and it is, should you ever blog for free? As in, should you ever write your blog and not expect to make money? And my answer is yes. You should think about blogging for free if and only if it could potentially lead to a paid gig. So I have talked about this before, but if you are new to me, then I will explain again that when I first started blogging, I was very new in the writing world, and I ended up writing a couple of articles for free. And they got published in a teeny tiny little magazine. But because of those 2 free articles that I published, I ended up getting a full-time writing job with a newspaper that paid me quadruple what I would have been paid if I'd demanded $25 for each of those articles. So there will be times that people will ask you to do something for free because maybe you don't have a lot of content on your blog, or maybe you're really new to doing something. Take those opportunities as learning opportunities. Kick some butt when you do it for free. Don't do it more than once or twice for free, and really learn the ropes through those free opportunities, and they will turn into paid opportunities. I almost guarantee it. It happens each and every time. So here's some action I want you to take today. First of all, you need to set your mind that you are going to make money as a blogger. There's a lot of us, myself included, who will say things like, I just love blogging because it's so therapeutic, or I just love blogging because I meet so many awesome people. But you need to decide, that's great, like those are really nice things, but you need to decide you're going to make money, first of all. So look at your blog as if it's a business. Then secondly, write down all the different ways, the different streams of income you could take advantage of, and which ones you could take advantage of most quickly. Remember, I have 7 different ways that I make money from my blog every single month. The ones that I mentioned here, selling your own products, sponsored posts, freelance writing, selling services, those are 4 of them. I have some money that I make from ads, but that is only because I've been around for a long time. And I'll tell you something about ads. I actually sell my own ads. So I sell a sidebar ad for $50 an ad, and that's something you can steal and you can do yourself. If you have local businesses that would be willing to advertise, do it, do it, do it. And then I make a little bit of money from affiliates, but that is not part of my big business plan at all. I do not think it's where you should start or even put any of your energy. And then I also make money through coaching and helping other bloggers who are trying to release products or just want some help getting their blog in tip-top shape. So that's how I make money. Those are my 7 income streams. And you have to figure out which streams of income you want to start off taking advantage of. And then I want you to research. I want you to figure out the best way to get started. So go on Google and figure out which blogs you could pitch blog posts to that will actually pay you for them. Are there any local magazines you could pitch an article to that will pay you for it? Are there bloggers on a Facebook group or small business owners in a Facebook group that need help setting up an email system and you're a total whiz at MailChimp? Start there. Message them, email them, give them a price. So get researching and then just get started. Please don't wait around for somebody to ask you if you'd like to make money blogging. You need to just take advantage of that, and you need to say that you deserve to make money. You are going to go out there, you are going to get money, because there is major money out there just waiting for you to get, and you just have to start doing it. All right, so I'm going to try to stop sharing my screen. Hi, I'm back. And I'm going to answer a few questions. So if you do have a question, you can type it in the box, or if you don't have a question, I have a few that were also emailed in for people who knew that they weren't going to be able to make it live. So I'm going to answer those questions now. So first of all, I got a question by email, and it says, should we be trademarking or copywriting our brand or logo as a blogger? So this is a bit of a legal question. I want to be clear, I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not going to give you legal advice. And it also is a question depending on where you live. So I live in Canada. Our laws are a bit different than if you live in the States, than if you live in Brazil, than if you live in China. All of those people have signed up. So that's why I use those countries. So you really need to be clear on what the laws are where you live. What I would suggest you do is talk to an accountant or talk to a lawyer and see if it is something you should do. There is a lot of money involved in trademarking or copywriting something. So you have to be really sure that it's the right business move. And I know that there are many corporations, many businesses out there, especially nonprofits, that do not choose to register their name or trademark or copyright their name right away because of the enormous cost and time involved. So you really need to talk to an accountant or a lawyer. There are a few places that I know, a few bloggers who have their name as a registered trademark, but not as many as you would think. You can't necessarily stop someone else from creating a blog with a very similar name to yours if a URL is available. So what you might want to do, instead of spending the time and money when it comes to trademarking or copywriting, what you might want to do instead is buy up the URLs that have your name. So for example, I own sleepingisforlosers.com, sleepingisforlosers.ca, sleepingisforlosers.org, sleepingisforlosers.co. I own all of those. So the chances that someone is going to start a Sleeping is for Losers website, pretty slim. So that's what you might want to do if you're worried about people taking it or copying it or utilizing it for themselves. So I hope that that's helpful advice for you. Another question I got by email was, as a new blogger, how do I convince people to collaborate with me? All right, so first thing I would ask you is, why do you want to collaborate with other people? Are you hoping to grab their audience? Because I think that the better way to get yourself in front of other people is to get paid for it, and that is by writing on blogs that pay bloggers to write for them. That is the way I got noticed. I never guest posted. I never wrote for free. Sorry, that's a lie. I didn't write for free on other people's blogs. And I didn't do much in the way of collaboration. So the other thing I would say after your, first of all, I would just get paid for it. Just go to the websites that are going to pay you. I would also say create a social media relationship with them. And don't be enamored by people who just have massive, massive numbers on social media. That doesn't always translate into massive numbers for you. But a little trick that a lot of people do, not a lot of people, now they will because I'm telling you all about it, is tag major influencers who you're interested in working with, tag them in your posts on Instagram or tag them on your Facebook posts. So for example, let's say Scary Mommy was a site that you really want to be featured on for whatever reason. It's good for your brand or it fits with you. Every time you put up something that you think fits really well with Scary Mommy, tag them in the picture on Instagram. Every time you put up a meme on Facebook that you think Scary Mommy would love to potentially share, tag them in that. Another good one with a lot of traffic, especially if you're in the mom industry, is Babbel. Tag them. Just tag them right on there and do it consistently. I mean, don't be spammy. Don't tag them on 5, 10, 15 posts a day. But anytime you think you have something that's actually pretty funny and good and fits with their viewers, tag them. That is one of the best ways to get noticed. There is a 2 bloggers here called Kat and Nat, and they're very popular on YouTube now too. That's how they started to get noticed by bigger sites, is they would tag them. Every time they put out a video that they thought was really good, they would just tag Today's Parent. They would tag the Today Show. They tagged a couple other, and eventually they started to get picked up. So that's my little tip for you. All right, and there was a question in the chat box, and it says, do you feel like travel brands typically offer money and compensation, like resorts, etc.? Okay, so I know a lot of travel bloggers, and I know a lot of wannabe travel bloggers, and I totally get why people want to be travel bloggers. I want to be a travel blogger too. But I just came back from a trip to Florida, and if you're on my blog, you'll see I have 2 posts so far about it. It depends on who you are contacting. So if you want to get potentially paid for travel posts, there are a few things. Number 1, always go to the media tab on the website or of the hotel or the airline or whatever it is, and find their PR person or their media contact. They're called either or. That's who you're going to email, first of all, if you're looking for travel. Second of all, when you approach someone about comping you on travel, number 1 is never mention your stats unless they ask you. Never. I never talk about my stats, like how many views I have, how many social media followers I have. I never talk about that. So never offer that kind of information. This is actually good for sponsored posts too. Never offer that information unless you are specifically asked. When it comes to travel, I would expect that you can get things comped, meaning they will give it to you for free in exchange for writing about it, much more easy than you will get paid for it. So you really have to decide, is this trip worth it? Am I planning to take it anyway? And give yourself the time to contact everyone who could potentially be involved in that trip. So for example, in my Florida trip, I contacted Spirit Airlines and they paid for my flight and the flight of my family. I contacted Universal and they gave me free tickets. Now, and I contacted a couple hotels and they allowed us to stay there for free. There were parts of the trip I had to pay for myself and I didn't get comped. Maybe if I'd spent more time, I could have had even the food comped if I'd worked on it. But by and large, if you're looking at travel opportunities, it's much more effective to ask for free stays, free opportunities, than to ask for actually a paycheck. Most places won't. Now, there are opportunities to partner with a airline or a travel provider. Let's use, I don't know, what's one that everybody knows? Probably none of you know this, but I'm going to use it anyway. Let's use Air Canada because that's a big airline here in Canada. So I would contact Air Canada. I would say that I am a travel blogger. I am looking for opportunities to potentially partner with an airline that I can use consistently so my readers can consistently see how great your service is, or whatever you're going to say to them. That is how I would approach it. And once you have a brand partnership, that in and of itself suggests that you should get paid for it. You have to work your way up to that, though. So that's just, I hate to tell you that, but you have to work your way up to that. You have to show that you are a dedicated travel writer. You're not just in it because you want free trips here and there. You write really good follow-ups and posts. And if you really, really, really want to be a travel writer, I highly suggest that you write travel articles for small magazines, for newspapers, that you start reaching out and looking for freelance writing opportunities as well, because that's where you'll start to make more money off of those freebie trips that you're getting. So I hope that answers your question. I know it's a little bit of a workaround, but yeah, it's a lot harder to get money out of travel brands because there's a lot of people who would take a free flight. You know what I'm saying? or even take a discount off a flight. Who am I kidding? So I had another question by email that said, what about taxes when it comes to blogging? Do you have to declare how much you made? Okay, so again, I'm not a lawyer and I'm definitely not an accountant, and I'm kind of crappy at math. So I want to give you like that disclaimer right there. But depending on what country you live in, yes, you have to declare it. I would assume most countries do, but I don't live everywhere, obviously. You need to have an accountant. And that is just the end of it. Don't get caught with your pants down. Don't get caught making money, spending money, and then realizing that you owe your government a ton of money. So you need to make sure that you're being above board. The thing is, online, there's so much money to make, but anyone can see that you have a blog, and they can probably deduce that you are making some money out of it. So be really above board. Even if you have a friend who's an accountant, talk to them and ask them what you specifically need to do. Don't get caught trying to do cash deals and things like that. Be really above board. And somebody else asked, what are some of the best ways to get advertising money? Okay, well, I kind of touched on that. I don't like ads as a way to get money, but you will see I have one ad on my blog. I actually sell that space, and it rotates on my end, but since 2009, I've sold ad space on the sidebar of my blog. I charge $50. I don't know where I came up with that number. I think I made it up out of thin air. And I talked to people who are interested in reaching out to moms who would potentially read my blog. That is putting the power back in your own hands. And when you're making money off your blog, I am all about putting power back into your own hands. That's the key. You want to be in control. This is your business. You do not want to be reliant on hoping for big traffic and hoping people click on your ads or hoping people will buy things from an affiliate. No. That's not powerful. For me as a blogger, that doesn't put me in the driver's seat. That makes me kind of desperate, to be honest. So you want to do the things that will put you in the driver's seat and give you the opportunity to control how much money you make. Really and truly, the sky is the limit as a blogger. So I know we've only touched on a couple of ways to make money. If you can dream it, you can probably make money on it from your blog. You can sell those memes that get 100,000 likes on the internet. You can set up a little shop on your blog. You can sell that ad space. You can freelance write. There is so much you can potentially do. So I hope that I have encouraged you and kind of opened up your mind to thinking broader when it comes to making money. Don't be so narrowly focused when it comes to making money. Really go broad and think about all the different ways you can pull in bits of cash here and there. And, blogging has changed my life in so many ways. And I'm not a millionaire. I'm not even like a six-figure blogger. I wish I was. I wish I could tell you I was. I'm totally not. But I make a solid living off my blog each and every year doing the exact things that I talked to you about in this webinar. So I hope that you have felt encouraged, that you are thinking outside of the box. Your traffic means nothing in terms of making money. The length of your blog, like so how long you've been blogging for, means nothing in terms of making money. Once you have a blog, you have a dedicated online space and you have some readers. At least you have me as a reader. Maybe your mom or, you know, your husband or your spouse or whoever. But you have power when you have that blog, you have a couple posts up. Start looking for ways to make income right away. Start leveraging your blog right away. The sooner you think of it as a business, the sooner it will be a business to you. So I hope that has encouraged you, and I hope that has answered your questions well. If you do have questions after this and you'd like them answered, please, please, please make sure that you reach out. I would love to talk with you about it. And you'll be getting this replay in your email, but thank you for everyone who came on live. I think at most I had 69 viewers. Yeah, that's how many I had at the most. So thank you so much for those people for taking the time to come on live. And for the rest of you, I hope you enjoy this replay. So again, if you have any questions, you can email me, sarah@sleepingisforlosers.com. And I am so thankful and grateful that you were here. We will see you next week because I am doing another webinar next week, and you will be able to sign up for that on my Instagram or my Facebook. So make sure you are following me there. Until next time, bye.